Welcome to Blackbridge Sound, the greasiest home recording channel on YouTube. Today we are checking in with 10 tips to organize your home studio or jam space or whatever room you make your music in.
Let's go.
So tip number one is use clear bins. You can get these pretty cheap at dollar stores or Poundland for you animals in the UK, but the thing that I like about them the most is you can see right away that this is guitar bits. You can see that this is drum bits, things of bits of drum hardware. You can tell right away this is headphones. So you can have themes, and you can see right away. If you just put your little bits and bobs away in a drawer, you kind of forget about them. You don't even know what you have half the time. So the clear bins just kind of make it a little bit easier to just know where everything is. So that's tip number one. Tip number two is have some kind of dish. You can use just a mug or a cup for your pens. You always need pens. You got to write notes in the studio or write down lyrics or whatever. These come in handy, and if you just kind of put them around wherever, you'll never be able to find them when you need them. So if you have just a specific dialed in dish for all your pens, it makes such a big difference when you need them, right? So otherwise they're gonna end up in your couch or wherever, and you'll never be able to find it.
Tip number three, get yourself a bunch of cable ties. These things are very inexpensive. It's just a little piece of Velcro and it attaches to any cable. I think they're you can get them for 30 of them for $1 probably.
Yeah.
And it's just, when you got 30 cables put together, this will just stop it from spaghettifying.
Spaghettifying, I like that. Yeah, we've seen some pretty nasty looking rat's nests over the years. It look kind of like Jarrett's hair, where it's just all tangled and it's a mess. You don't really want that. Just get yourself some cable ties, okay? Clean it up, boys. Tip number four is establish some kind of routine to clean your studio. Let's say it's every Wednesday you're gonna spend 20 minutes just going through the studio, vacuuming, dusting, wiping off surfaces, whatever you gotta do to keep your studio clean. Musicians aren't really known for being the most clean folks out there, especially this animal here. So if you just have a kind of set schedule, it takes away the guesswork and you're always gonna keep your space clean there. So every Wednesday, I'm looking at you out there. Clean your spot, you animal.
Tip number five, have a set place for everything. Whether you're storing stuff on shelves or whatever, it's great to know where everything is, because if you spend time looking for everything, you're just wasting your time. You're wasting your client's time if you're doing stuff for other people. It's just a giant waste of time all the way around. If
you have all your stuff, I'm gonna have this guitar over here, this spot is for guitars, this spot is for amp heads. Having an actual dialed in location for everything makes such a difference, and you always know where to find stuff when you need it. Especially if it's something that you don't use that often, it's kind of you can just forget where you even put it in the first place. So yeah, having a dialed specific spot for everything makes such a difference. Tip number six is have a garbage can accessible in the studio or a recycling bin. If you have all your drinks and stuff and start putting them down on amps, that's just gonna become a mess right away. It's not acceptable in the studio. You wanna just have a nice, accessible garbage bin to just place your, empty bottles and cans, whatever you got. Keep it nice and tidy in the garbage can. Everyone's a winner.
Maybe even more than one. You wanna put them as close to the musicians as possible, because if the garbage can is 10 feet away, I would say 80% of musicians just aren't getting up and using it. You're gonna end up with cans on your tables and shit anyway.
Oh, so. Yeah, and even probably put the garbage can underneath in a trough, because they're animals, just eating pigs out of a trough, right?
Oh yeah.
Pizza and Chinese food flying everywhere,
Yeah. Catch the drool too, which is nice.
Yeah, you get those bibs that for the rest. Is that, maybe I'm just making that up?
Bibs? No, some restaurants got bibs, I think.
Not
I think
bibs,
they're for children.
For a bag put on your ear so all the slop kind of goes down.
Oh yeah, like a horse.
Yeah,
like a feed bag. That's what they call it, a feed bag.
Yeah, get feed bags for the musicians.
Feed bags would be great. Can you imagine feed bags with a pizza? That'd be awesome.
I could probably use it because I've spilt my fair share of food all over the years. So yeah, garbage can in your studio. Let's go. Tip number seven is have a toolkit handy in the studio. You can either put together your own little toolkit setup, or you can go to a store and get a pre-set up one like these. It's got everything in it. You got, screwdrivers, pliers, hammers, whatever you need. Get a little toolkit like this, and it just, you never know when stuff's gonna break down in the studio. Gear breaks, You never know, right? So it's always good to have some tools handy, ready to go when you need them.
Tip number 8. Invest in yourself some cable management solutions. Even if you you could go on the cheap and you could do zip ties, but it's a little bit of a hassle if you gotta adjust stuff later, because then you're cutting them off and putting new ones on. But it makes so much less clutter because you don't have like 20 cables just all strung along. With us here, instead of running a bunch of mic cables through the wall, we ended up getting a couple sub snakes. And now there's just 2 cables going through the wall. It's just so much cleaner. There's less clutter. You're not tripping over things. Nothing's getting tangled. It's just overall a lot better. Tip number 9. Make sure you're labeling everything, like all your adapters, cables, and stuff like that. Someone might be plugging in an instrument cable as a speaker cable, and like that's bad news. You might have your drummer just show up and he's plugging in a 120 volt adapter into your pedal. Then all of a sudden it's fried, you gotta go get it fixed. Ask me how I know.
20 years ago, bud, let it go.
I'm not letting that go. Never. At least you paid for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, just labeling everything, it just keeps the guesswork out of it. Especially if you're running through walls with cables and stuff like that. It's easy. 1, 2, 3, 4, you're good to go.
Yeah. Yeah, it keeps the guesswork out, especially when you have mutants like me in the studio who don't know anything. You know, I can't screw it up if it's all labeled properly. So yeah. Label your stuff. And tip number 10 is daily studio maintenance. Just take 2 minutes at the end of every session, you know, maybe clean up any bits of garbage you got lying around, or, you know, wrap up any cables, whatever you got going on, because when you start your next session the next day, you want to come into a nice, clean, organized space. You don't want to be tripping over stuff. You want to just get started, ready to go the next day like a boss. So yeah, there are 10 tips for organizing your home studio or rehearsal space or whatever your music room is there. So let us know what you thought. Maybe you have some more tips you want to put in. Let us know in the comments. Hit that like button, subscribe. Let us know what you thought of this video. Let us know if we're greasy guys. We will see you next time. Thanks for watching the video. Have a great rest of the day. Stay out of trouble, eat your vegetables, say your prayers, and stay out of jail. Hey, Oren Fisher, you greasy animal. We know you made it to the end of this video and you're watching here, so thanks for all the greasy comments over the years. You're definitely the greasiest commenter on YouTube. And thanks for all the support. You make us proud. You make the Recording Tips group proud, and you're a beauty.
Let's go.
Welcome.
What?
Welcome to holy oh, friend. Just fucking stand still or sit still.
All right, we're good.
Like holy